Let me begin with a question. What do you want? Now, I don't mean what would be nice. I don't mean what you hope might happen if things go well. I mean, what do you really want over the next 10 years of your life? Not tomorrow. Not next month. I'm talking about the next decade. That's a long time, but it goes by fast. And the direction you start walking today determines where you'll end up 10 years from now. So I ask you again, what do you want? If you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. Most people spend more time planning a vacation than they do planning their life. They'll spend weeks researching hotels and tickets and food and outfits. But when it comes to the next 10 years of their life, they just drift. And you know what happens to people who drift? They end up where they don't want to be. That's why this question is so important. What do you want? Now, I'll tell you this. One of the most powerful forces in your life is a clear answer to a big question. Questions direct your focus. Focus shapes your thoughts. Thoughts create your actions. And actions build your future. It all starts with a question. Goals. There's no telling what you can do when you get inspired by them. There's no telling what you can do when you believe in them. And there's no telling what will happen when you act upon them. So let's begin right here, right now. Let's do what most people never do. Let's take control of the next 10 years. Let's stop waiting to see what happens. Let's stop hoping something good will come our way. Let's stop leaving our future to chance. Let's ask, what do I want my life to look like in 10 years? Here are a few places to start. Physically, what kind of health do you want? Financially, what kind of income do you want to earn? Mentally, what kind of knowledge or skills do you want to master? Socially, what kind of relationships do you want to build? Spiritually, what kind of peace, purpose, or faith do you want to develop? These are deep questions. They require reflection, but they also unlock your potential. Because the clearer you are about what you want, the more power you have to go get it. Now, let me tell you something important. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they lack clarity. You can't hit a target you can't see, and you can't arrive at a destination you never defined. So the first step to changing your life is deciding what kind of life you want. You must be deliberate. You must decide. You must plan, or you'll spend your years chasing distractions instead of building a destiny. Think about this. The next 10 years will pass whether you plan them or not. You'll age. The calendar will turn. Opportunities will come and go. The difference is whether you arrived there on purpose or just ended up there by accident. Imagine you're on a boat, drifting at sea. No sail, no map, no direction. The wind takes you one way, then another. You might stay afloat, but you won't arrive anywhere special. Now imagine you build a sail. You chart a course. You grab the wheel. Suddenly you're not hoping for the wind to be kind. You're navigating it. That's the difference between the person who asks what they want and the person who never stops to ask. So, take out a pen, grab a journal, and answer the question. Not just in your head. Write it down. There's power in writing. It makes the invisible visible. It makes dreams real. It makes goals reachable. Don't be vague. Don't say, I want to be happy. Say, I want to wake up every day excited for what's next. Say, I want to own my home, travel to 5 countries, read 100 books, be 20 pounds lighter, earn $10,000 a month. Be clear. Be specific. Be bold. Because once you know what you want in the next 10 years, you can begin to become the person who can make it happen. That's where the real magic is. And in the next part of this series, we'll talk about what it means to design your next decade step by step. But for now, remember this. The major reason for setting a goal is what it makes of you to accomplish it. What it makes of you will always be the far greater value than what you get. So, what do you want? If the promise of the future is clear, the price is easy to pay. Now that you've taken the time to ask yourself the big question, what do I want? Let's move to the next step. Designing the life you want. You see, the next 10 years will arrive whether you're ready for them or not. But if you plan them with clarity and purpose, they won't just arrive, they'll reward you. Most people live one day at a time. No wonder their results are small. But here's what I've learned. If you stretch your vision, if you set goals not just for today or this week, but for the next decade, that long-term focus changes everything. The future is not something we wait for. It's something we design. And the more you plan, the more control you have over your destiny. Let's do a simple exercise. I want you to imagine it's 10 years from today. The calendar has turned. You're older, hopefully wiser. But here's the question. Where are you? What kind of life are you living? Where do you live? What kind of work are you doing? How do you feel about yourself? Who have you become? Start there. Write it out. Describe your ideal 10-year life in full detail. Not in vague wishes, but in clear, concrete terms. Set goals that touch every part of your life. Because success isn't just about one thing. It's about balance. Let's break it down. Who do you want to become in 10 years? What skills do you want to master? What books do you want to have read? What fears do you want to conquer? Success is something you attract by the person you become. What kind of financial life do you want? How much income do you want to earn yearly? How much do you want to save, invest, or give? What kind of lifestyle do you want to afford? Be specific. Vague goals create vague results. How do you want to feel? What do you want your energy level to be like? Do you want to run a marathon? Lose weight? Gain strength? You only get one body. Treat it like a temple, not a tent. Who do you want by your side? What kind of partner do you want to be? What kind of friends will you surround yourself with? What legacy will you leave your children? No one succeeds alone. Grow your character, and you'll attract the right people. What kind of purpose do you want to live out? How will you stay grounded, thankful, fulfilled? What causes will you support? Who will you serve beyond yourself? The bigger your why, the easier the how becomes. Now here's a key principle. Don't just think it, ink it. Success is built in layers. You don't build a house with one brick. You lay them one by one, day after day. Discipline is the foundation of all success. But goals are the blueprint. That's discipline, discipline, discipline. Some people hesitate when they start this process. They say, I don't know if I can do that. Well, of course you don't yet. But remember, the goal isn't to know how right now. The goal is to decide what. Once the what is clear, the how begins to reveal itself. Don't join an easy crowd. You won't grow. Go where the expectations are high. Set big goals. Scare yourself a little. Stretch your thinking. Because the purpose of the goal is not just to get something, it's to become someone. You don't get what you want in life. You get what you plan for. You get what you're willing to pursue. And you get what you're disciplined enough to keep showing up for. So don't leave the next 10 years to chance. Design them with intention. Write your goals. Define your path. And start walking it today. Set a goal to become a millionaire not for the money, but for what it will make of you to achieve it. Because when you plan the next 10 years, you gain power over them. You stop reacting and you start creating. If you want to have more, you must become more. For things to change, you have to change. So, you've asked the big question. What do I want? You've started designing the next 10 years. You've written down your goals. You're thinking bigger than ever before. Now comes the real challenge. Not the setting of the goals, not the dreaming of what life could be, but becoming the kind of person who can actually make it happen. You see, a goal is more than a target. It's a tool. It's a tool that pulls you forward. It stretches you. It develops your character. It reveals your weaknesses. And it introduces you to your potential. The goal is important, yes, but who you become in the process, that's the real reward. Set the kind of goals that will make something of you to achieve them. Let me say it this way. If you want to earn $1 million, you must become the kind of person who is worth $1 million. You must learn You must grow. You must become more valuable in the marketplace. And that doesn't happen by accident. That happens by design. You don't get what you want. You get who you are. There's a law that never fails. You attract not what you want. You attract what you are. People say, I want a better job. Okay. Then become a better person. Learn more. Add more value. Improve your attitude. People say, I want a loving relationship. Great. Then become someone who knows how to give love, not just receive it. Be patient. Be kind. Be understanding. People say, I want success. Wonderful. Then become someone who wakes up early, sets goals, takes action, and stays consistent. Success is something you attract by the person you become. You don't stumble into transformation. You work for it. You commit to it. Here's a key principle. Growth is not automatic. It's intentional. You don't become wiser just by aging. You become wiser by learning, by reading, by reflecting, by seeking feedback, by failing and then getting back up. So, who do your goals require you to become? Let's make it practical. What books must you read? What people should you surround yourself with? What habits must you start or stop? What beliefs must you challenge? These are the questions that change lives. Not, what do I want? We covered that. Now it's, what must I become? There's always a gap between where you are and where you want to be. Most people try to jump over that gap. They shortcut. They cheat. They fake it. But here's the problem. You can't cheat your way into true success. You have to grow into it. And growth is uncomfortable. It's not glamorous. But it is necessary. The question is not, is this goal hard? The question is, am I willing to become the person who can handle it? Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills. When you commit to a 10-year vision, you're also committing to 10 years of transformation. You will have to face your weaknesses, improve your discipline, handle criticism, keep going when it's boring, rise when you fall, stay focused when it gets hard, develop courage in uncertainty. But each step of the journey changes you. It shapes you. It refines you. You start becoming the kind of person that success can't ignore. Not because you demanded it, but because you earned it. Let's get honest. The next 10 years will require sacrifice. Time, energy, comfort, old versions of yourself. But what you get in return is freedom. You get freedom of mind, freedom of finances, freedom of confidence, freedom of choice. Not because the world gave it to you, but because you became someone strong enough to build it. That's the reward of becoming the right person. If you want things to change for you, you have to change. Don't just chase your goals. Grow into them. Wake up each day and ask, what can I do today that will make me better tomorrow? Because when you become more, you attract more. You handle more. You deserve more. But for now, remember, don't wish it were easier. Become stronger. Don't wish for more. Become more. Because you're not just building a life. You're building you. You cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. Let's talk today about a quiet thief that steals more dreams than failure ever could. It doesn't come with warning signs. It doesn't shout. It whispers. And it says, wait, not now, maybe later. And before you know it, later becomes never. Most people don't miss out on their goals because they lack talent. They miss out because they postponed action. They said they'd start someday. They told themselves they'd wait until they felt ready. But here's the truth. There's no ready. There's only now. Life is brief. And whatever you're going to do with your life, you should get at it. Time doesn't ask permission to pass. And the clock doesn't stop while you wait for courage. If you delay your dream today, you'll likely delay it again tomorrow. And the next day, until eventually, the dream becomes a regret. You know, the most dangerous lies we tell ourselves are the ones that sound reasonable. I'll start when I have more time. I need to feel more confident first. I just need to learn a little more. I'll do it after the holidays, after this project, after the kids grow up. Sounds logical. But here's what I've learned. Excuses always sound good to the person telling them. And the longer you use them, the more they feel like truth. But they're not truth. They're traps. So let's get honest. What are you really waiting for? Are you waiting for approval? Are you waiting for motivation? Are you waiting for someone to come along and say, it's your time now? Let me tell you, you don't need permission to pursue your purpose. The only person who can give you permission is you. And if you don't give it to yourself now, you may look back one day and wonder why you let fear decide your future. Discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. Let that sink in. It's hard to start. Yes, it's uncomfortable to take the first step. Absolutely. But the pain of discipline is temporary. The pain of regret, that sticks with you. People think they need to start perfect. But here's a secret. Nobody starts perfect. They start messy. They start uncertain. They start scared. And then they get better. They grow into it. You don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. Maybe your first speech is awkward. Your first video shaky. Your first business clumsy. That's okay. What matters is that you begin. The world doesn't reward people for thinking about it. It rewards people who take action. Look at the calendar. Another week gone. Another month passed. And the question is, did you move closer to your goals or just circle around them? Because time will move with or without you. And the 10-year future we talked about, it's already on its way. And let me be blunt. Whether you start building it or not, 10 years from now will still show up. The only question is, will it bring harvest or heartache? Every day you delay your dreams, you pay a price. You miss an opportunity. You lose momentum. You stay stuck in cycles that don't serve you. And worst of all, you begin to lose belief in yourself. Action is what keeps belief alive. Inaction is what kills it. Now I get it. You're afraid. That's okay. Fear is natural, but fear is not the enemy. Inaction is.